Hello, my name is Adolfo, and this is Life of Adolfo. Today I'm going to talk about orientation in the post office. I'm going to do it quick. The orientation is basically the broad aspect of the USPS. It's not specifically towards the CCAs, even though they might bring certain things of the CCA, especially if it's being instructed by someone that is not a city carrier. The one that we had, I believe it was a clerk or a mail handler. And as we know, there's mail handlers, clerks, RCAs, and CCAs. They may know certain things of the city carrier, but to play it safe, they're not going to try to give a whole aspect of a city carrier since they're not familiar with it. They are familiar, but they are not the individuals, the craftsmen of that area. And I don't want to say the only thing, but the biggest thing that I learned from the orientation is light blue. Light blue is where you get your statements, you get your virtual time card, and you see if you're getting paid. And that's like the most important thing if you're working, knowing that you're going to get paid. Couple things that I learned right there. Another big thing that you could say it was, I don't want to say it was big, but you learn is the policies. And one of the things that sounded redundant each time that they were in orientation is be on time. Be on time, work, be on time. And I kind of noticed because on one occasion, someone was late and they brought it up again. That lady raised her hand and she said there was traffic and so on. But being a prior CCA, I already know that being on time is the biggest thing, the biggest pet peeve that they have. Now, like I said, the policies is ethics that they had, safety. They talk a lot about safety if you're injured. And they also talk about non-career employees, 60-day enrollments, leave days. After 360 or 365 days, you get after 360 days, you get 5 days off. So basically, it's like a break on time of service if you're a CCA. These are the key things that I learned, like I said, towards a CCA. After 6 hours of continuous work, you get 30 minutes of lunch break. Take your lunch break. Another thing that I learned, and because during the orientation, there's a CCA that comes in, I believe, after when they separate us, but it's still considered orientation. The number one pet peeve they gave is the 5, curb it, park it, brake it, turn it off. I mean, off or keys off. I believe it was 4 then. So the reason they have that as a biggest pet peeve is because there's a lot of rollaways and the IOVs. I'm not sure if of the big vans or so on, but I know in the IOVs. Now, things that I learned in there that are not CCA related, but USPS as a whole, is that the establishment of the post office was July 26, I believe so, 1775. First postman was first postman general was Benjamin Franklin. 1847, the stamps were created. 1963, the zip code. 1970, the Postal Recognition Act of 1970 was a law passed by the United States Congress that abolished the United States Post Office Department. 1982, Department of the Post Office. And 1994, USPS went online. Other key things that I learned was LOV stands for Long Life Vehicle. Union. And I'm going to cover this in the CCA Academy. But they talked about, we're going to talk to certain unions. And I believe they wanted to separate us on those is because how much are they going to be the union dues? And what do the union do? What does the union do for us as CCAs? For us, it's called NALCA, NALCA. Is the acronym. It stands for National Association Letter Certification. And another key thing that I learned is there's types of postage, digital meter, PC postage, and I think it's internet PC postage stamps, internal. They also talk about suspicious package or anything that has X amount of stamps. We should not accept it. And they covered quite a few forms. And to be honest, it's good to learn their forms. But majority of the forms as a CCA is going to be the Peach form. The vehicle probably, if your vehicles keep on breaking down. And those are the only ones since I was a week in the post office as a CCA afterwards. I've been in the post office as a CCA afterwards. Besides that, they give you a phone number in case you need help. And that number is basically, I believe it helps you with the light blue. Or if you need, if you're calling in sick. So I'm not going to give it out because what if the West Coast and the East Coast is a different phone number? So I don't want you guys to be calling the incorrect phone number. And that's the only key things that I learned on the on orientation. Something else, I was a prior CCA. The difference that I noticed, and they covered it there, is that certain post office, they have a supervisor and then the postmaster. And others, they have a supervisor, then the manager, and then the postmaster's in another location. And that's where I'm at right now. I did not see my postmaster and so on. So hopefully you like my video on the orientation. And the reason I wanted to cover this video, and I'm going to try to cover the next 3 videos that I want to cover at the post office, is that I quit it again. I'm not going to disclose on this video why I quit it, but I'm going to cover in my final video once again. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. But one key thing is, if you want to work as a CCA, be ready to work. Be ready to not get specific. I don't want to say, try to get specific word by word what you need to do. And if you like to be on your phone, forget about it. So hopefully that helps on my orientation video. Have a good day. I'll tell you why I quit it. I did walk a lot. I was in a walking route. But I'm going to give all my opinions in my final video. Have a good day. Bye.